Hey, Vanessa here. Just want to take a few minutes, wait for you guys or one of you guys to hop on. Let me know if you can hear me. Give me some love, some hearts, some thumbs up. And if you cannot hear me, please tell me so I'm not just here talking to myself. Just wait a few minutes. Anyone? Anyone coming on today? I could not find a good place to sit and talk to you guys inside. So, hey Val, can you hear me? Just give a thumbs up or something. Can you guys hear me okay? There's a way I can. Hey Val, can you hear me? Awesome. Cool. So I'm going to go ahead and get started, and I wanted to come live today and give you guys just some information on what clean eating is, what it isn't, what it means to eat clean. And then if you guys have any questions, I'm more than happy to answer it. And then also I want you guys to be able to get started with eating clean right away. It's something that's easy to do. So I'm going to go ahead and dive into the information. So I have my notes on the side so I don't just ramble like a crazy person. And if at any point you can't hear me, please type in the comments so I can fix it and make it happen. Okay, so clean eating. What exactly is clean eating? So basically, eating clean is just a concept. It's an eating concept that stresses eating whole, real fresh foods that are unprocessed or minimally processed. At its basic core, at its simplest, clean eating is just about eating whole foods or real foods. Foods that are unprocessed, minimally processed, things that are not refined or handled too much, making them as close to their natural state or their natural form or their natural food as possible. This is basically an approach to eating. There's many. But it's not really a diet. Like you can't say, I'm following clean eating diet, because it's really more like a lifestyle. There's a lot of flexibility with clean eating. And it can be adapted to any kind of routine or any kind of plan. So for example, just because you eat clean doesn't necessarily mean it's low carb, doesn't necessarily mean it's low fat or high fiber or high protein or anything like that. What it really means is just a balanced approach to eating real whole foods. And I think that clean eating, it really emphasizes the quality of the food versus the macros. And that's something that's kind of different. You can eat clean and be low carb. You can eat clean and be low fat. So like it just depends. It's like on the quality of food that you're trying to eat. So then I wanted to talk a little bit about what exactly is processed food, because there are some clean foods that are minimally processed. So I want to kind of break that down for you. So what processing means is it's the addition. Number one, it's the addition of other things of any kind. So for example, if they add salt to the product, if they add sugar to the product, if they add fat to the product, if they want to add fibers or preservatives to the products, or even if they enrich the product or the food with vitamins, that is a form of processing. That's considered a processed food. And this could be anything from beverages to breakfast cereal to granola, etc. Another form of processing is changing the food from its natural form. So for example, for whole grains, like to make white bread, they have to remove the germ, they have to remove the bran from the actual grain in order to get it to be refined. When you make applesauce, even if you make it at home, you're cooking the apple and mashing the apple. That is a form of processing. If you cook vegetables, steam them or stir fry them in oil, that is considered processing. Another form of processing are foods that are made in labs, or food-like products that are made in labs. And I know this one you're kind of like, duh, Vanessa, but you don't need much clarification on that. But really, like, it's something that to think about and realize that, like, if the ingredient list has foods that you cannot pronounce or that have more than 3 syllables, you know that it's made in a lab and it's not good for you. So you should pretty much hold off on those forms of processing. So really, processed foods could be anywhere from a hot dog to a jar of organic tomato sauce. But not everything that's processed is bad, because like I said, minimally processed foods could still be clean, and I'm gonna go into that now. Sometimes processing, like pasteurized milk, that allows us to get rid of toxins or bacterias. So really what we want to look out for when we're talking about processed foods are those that are super ultra processed. It's not necessarily the worst thing in the world, but anything that's like a food product, like a hot dog, like, come on, like that, you should not be eating. That's completely, totally processed. Or the fruit candies, like beef jerky, unless you make it yourself. Those are things that you need to avoid that are extra processed. Natural cheese versus Cheese Whiz that comes in a can. That is what I'm talking about, the differences of whole, fresh, natural fruits to ultra processed foods. Does that make sense? Give me a thumbs up if that's cool, or if you have any questions about what processed foods are. Where's my water? Oh, okay. So with eating clean or clean eating, there are several core principles that we do and we emphasize. By the way, I am all about clean eating and/but. I do live by the 80-20 rule. So 80% of my meal plan and my diet and how I eat is clean, fresh as possible. And then the other 20% is fun. I do like margaritas, I do like wine. Although I try to make those ingredients as clean as possible too, honestly. And I'll get into that in a little bit. So the core principles of clean eating, or eating clean and having a clean lifestyle. Number 1. You want to, like I said before, you want to choose whole, natural foods as much as possible, and try to eliminate as many processed foods as you can. And again, anything processed is in a bag, in a box, in a package, and there are exceptions to the rule. Like I said before, like a bag of green beans or a bag of spinach is still minimally processed, but it's not the same as saying a bag of I don't even know, like a bag of Cheetos. There's 2 different worlds, right? The majority of your foods should be fresh. So it's also important to remember and to realize that just because you're eating clean or just because you're eating healthy does not give you free reign to eat as much as you want. Portion size still highly, highly matters, especially if you're trying to lose that belly, if you're trying to lose weight. So make sure that you always think about the portion size when it comes to eating clean and your meals and etc. I always encourage, if you're not using the portion containers that I freaking love and that are genius, if you're not using that, that's cool. Then what I always encourage is to make sure that you're dividing your plate. So you get your plate, you divide it in half. Half of that plate should be your vegetables. The other half of your plate, divide that in half, and then a quarter of it should be your protein, and the other quarter should be your healthy starch, if you will, if you're doing healthy starches like that. And that's what I call the plate method. Okay, so another principle that we do is, again, you choose unrefined over refined foods. It's not always going to be possible or ideal, but at any time that you can, you want to have whole grains versus the refined white stuff. Beans, legumes are also excellent sources of unrefined whole foods. If you're looking for something sweet, clean sugars are considered like honey, agave syrup. Those are from nature and considered clean. Although for weight loss purposes and if you deal with issues like diabetes or something like that, then you want to kind of watch out for those. But that's a different subject on its own. Right now we're just talking about clean foods. and the lifestyle. But yes, honey and maple syrup are considered clean. So the third point to remember, your diets mostly should be balanced. We do the balanced lifestyle, but like I said before, you could do low carb, you can do high fat, you can do high protein, low fat, whatever mode of diet you want to eat. You can still eat clean in that variety, but most of us do well with eating a balanced plate. Like I mentioned before, half vegetables, a quarter or a little bit more of protein, and a quarter a little bit less of the starches. You also want to watch out for added fat, salt, and sugar, and this is mostly like the bad stuff. So like for fat, you know, like an avocado is super clean. Like that's the cleanest form of fat you can have, right? But when I'm talking about fat, I'm talking about added like trans fats. I'm added trans fats, things that stabilize products, things that you find in like Oreo cookies. That kind of fat is what I'm trying to say. Salt and sugar, obviously, those are repeat offenders. Those things don't have a place in your diet unless you're doing like a sea salt sprinkled over your food, but not added in a food. And in processed foods, those are abundant. So that's why if you cut out processed foods, you're naturally cutting out the fat, salt, and sugar that is rampant in these foods. So clean foods are usually naturally low in these. We like to encourage eating 5 to 6 small meals per day. This usually turns out to be 3 main meals and 2 good-sized snacks. And this way, it helps to prevent you from skipping meals. Clean eating lifestyle is not really about skipping meals, and it also will prevent you from overeating in the long run, and especially at night. It also is going to help to keep your blood sugar stable, relatively stable, so your energy levels are always going to be elevated. So that's also a bonus with eating this way, eating 5 to 6 meals and having this lifestyle. A big thing that we recommend as a clean eating lifestyle is not to drink your calories. Things like sodas, those frappuccinos from Starbucks, other specialty coffees, those things can add up, especially if you drink more than one per day. They can add up to an extra 400 or 500 calories a day. That is insane. Like that's a pound a week. You know, you can lose or gain or not lose. So it's totally not worth it for me. At least I'd rather eat my calories than drink it. So you always want to choose water first. You can do unsweetened tea. That's a good clean beverage choice. Or other clean drinks would be low fat or skim milk, or even whole milk would be fine. Almond milk would be okay. While fruit juice, 100% fruit juice technically is a clean option, I would stay away because it just doesn't do anything for you. Besides add empty calories and sugar. It has vitamins, but it's nothing that you can't get from eating the fruit fresh, the whole fruit. I'm a big believer that you shouldn't drink your calories. Unless there's alcohol in it, then that's a different story, and we'll get to that later. Okay, and then finally, we're all about physical activity and getting moving. Regular physical activity is super important in this lifestyle. It helps to decrease fat, strengthen muscle. But you guys, this is not about exercise, because I can go on and on about working out. But this video is not about that, so I'm just going to keep on moving. But do know that workouts and exercise is important for living a healthy and clean lifestyle. Okay, so start eating clean today. It's super freaking simple. You don't have to go crazy. We start one thing at a time. You can start by, number 1, limiting your processed foods. I've said this again and again. Many processed foods are full of sugars, fat, salt, and an easy way to clean up your diet is to look at the ingredients list of the food. All foods that are packaged in a bag, box, container, whatever, those are going to have a food label. So look at the food label, look at the ingredient list, check to see what's on it. If the list is long, or if the list includes lots of ingredients that you cannot pronounce, stay away. If it doesn't sound like food that's you can gather or hunt or pick or climb and grab it, then you should probably stay away. There are some exceptions, of course, but that's like the main idea. So So some of the things that kind of fall into this category, like boxed mac and cheese, tomato sauces, unless you really look at the ingredients and they're all good. Granola bars, things like that. You just really have to be careful and look at the ingredients list and look at the nutrition facts label, because that will tell you the whole story. Some things that are clean and healthy and whole foods still come packaged, so you just got to be careful. And then those are things like, regular oatmeal, spinach in a bag, whole wheat pasta, quinoa, things like that. So you just want to be on the lookout, look at the ingredients list, make sure there's no added crap to it, and then you should be fine. So another way that you can start eating clean, bump up your veggies. Vegetables are your best friend, they're your BFF. Get them in your plates. Besides having a ton of vitamins, they're high in fiber. They're going to help you keep you full longer. You can eat a ton of vegetables on less calories than half a cup of rice, guys. Like, you can eat this gigantic bowl. People think I'm crazy because my lunch is always this gigantic container of spinach and tomatoes and vegetables, and people think they're like, oh my god, you're gonna eat all that. I'm like, yeah. This huge bowl has maybe 200 calories, while you're eating half a cup of rice that also has 200 calories, and I'm full and I'm satisfied. I don't know, vegetables are the bomb, so get them on your plate. The non-starchy vegetables obviously are better than the starchy ones, because you can eat more, but veggies are veggies, right? So fresh vegetables are always the best. Get your fill. You can start by doing carrots and hummus as a snack. You can start your meal with a side salad. You can have a gigantic lunch salad like I do, or you can add them in your omelets for the morning. There's millions of ways that you can get your vegetables in, so don't be shy and don't be scared of trying new things. Vegetables are your BFF, like I said. All right, so then another way that you can do is to reduce your alcohol. And like I said before, I like to partake in alcohol sometimes, and that's part of my 20%. But I do try and choose the cleaner option. So having a cleaner diet also includes cleaning up what you drink. So you can still have alcohol. I still have alcohol, but things like wine, things like beer, those are considered clean. What wouldn't be considered clean is if you have a strawberry daiquiri with the fake strawberry puree that comes in a bottle, or Rose's lime, or any of those weird things that are neon colored. That's not clean. That's not at all. But if you make a margarita with tequila, with fresh lime juice, sea salt, club soda, vodka soda with a lemon wedge, those are cleaner options than having a pina colada made with the white stuff from a can. You just got to be smart about it and be careful with the mixers and the sodas and the sugars. Just always be on the lookout for that. It's safe to assume for sure that if your drink is neon colored or came out from a frozen machine, that it's not clean. So just pay attention. And you can always ask the bartender to make it from scratch. If they're real bartenders, they'll know. Trust me, I am not, ask my husband, I am not shy to tell the bartender no. Don't make my mojito with sour mix. What is that? No. I tell them to make my margarita fresh too. I say, no, I don't want this. I don't want this. I want it with lime juice, and that's it. Then you're good. So another way that you can clean up your diet is to take the sugar out, unsweeten your diet, guys. Most people eat way too much sugar, and sometimes it's not as obvious as you think. Sometimes that crap is found in our breads. It's found in our tomato sauce. It's found in cereals. It's found in our yogurts that we think are healthy. Always check the label. Always check the ingredients. Make sure there isn't sugar added. Or if you absolutely have to have that, or you don't find an option with sugar, try and find one with sugar on the ingredients list that's listed on the bottom. The ingredients list in all foods are listed from the most ingredient. The first ingredient is going to be what the food has most of. So if the number one ingredient is sugar, that means that that product is mostly sugar, or the most amount. It's 75% sugar. And then as it's listed, it means it's in less quantity. So make sure that if you're going to have something with sugar in it, in the ingredients, that it's far down on the list and not one of the first 2 or 3. That being said, choose more whole grains if you're eating grains. I know some of you guys aren't. I mostly don't, unless I'm cheating and then I have bread. But if you are eating grains, trying to choose the whole grains. Those are going to have way more nutrients for you than the white stuff will. And again, this is where you have to look at the ingredients, because sometimes wheat bread, what you think is whole wheat bread isn't whole wheat bread. Yeah, there's wheat in it, but it's not whole wheat. So always look at the ingredients, check out the first ingredient, make sure that the first ingredient says whole wheat or whole grain, not just wheat, because that's where the labeling laws get kind of tricky. But if you look at the ingredients list, you should be fine. And if it says whole wheat, then it's a whole wheat product. Also, instead of wheat, if you're not doing gluten, you could do things like quinoa. You can get gluten-free oats. Oats are naturally gluten-free, by the way, just sometimes there's cross-contamination. So if the oats are labeled gluten-free, then they have to be gluten-free. That means that there was no contamination with them. Or brown rice instead of white rice. Your fruit. Fruit, I like to say that fruit is the best fast food. It's like the fastest, healthiest fast food ever. It's nature's candy. And it's that for a reason. It's amazing. It's sweet. It's delicious. If you have a sweet tooth, that's the best way. Fresh, go for the fresh fruit with the skin on. Try not to process it any more than what it is. And avoid the fruit juices. Like I said before, there's really no need for us to... Hey, Jolene. There's really no need for us to be drinking juices. It just takes away the fiber. It gives you double the calories than you would if you just ate the fruit. Instead of orange juice, eat the orange. It's always going to be better. You're going to get more fiber. You're going to have way less calories, way less sugar, and you're going to be satisfied for a longer time. So why are you going to drink the juice? I'm a believer that we don't need juice, so I take it away from my diet, and I don't let my daughter drink it either. Unless we're at a party and then, 20%, right? Okay, so then the last little nugget I have for you to start eating clean today is I talked about a little bit about eating whole grains. So one of the easiest way to start eating clean now is to get rid of your refined grains. Cut out the white stuff. Cut out white flour, white rice, white breads, other refined grains, refined corn, things like that. It not only is it super processed, it strips away important nutrients and then it's added back in. Like, why? You don't need that stuff. And then mostly you're going to find this in junk foods. So muffins and cupcakes and packaged cakes and baked goods and junky stuff that give added sugars, added fats, added salt, all the things above that we talked about before. So if you skip the packaged stuff and swap the white rice, white bread, white pasta for the whole grain versions, you're going to be way better off. And you're going to be well on your way to eating clean. And then I have one last tip for you guys about shopping or going grocery shopping and trying to stick to the whole foods and clean foods. You don't need to eat everything raw and like straight from the ground, like you don't have to have your own garden and stuff. It just means, again, choosing minimally processed foods that have very few ingredients, if any ingredients, or things that you can actually pronounce and that are simple and whole and real. Right, so when you go to the grocery store, the majority of these foods are going to be found on the perimeter of the store. So if you can imagine going into your grocery store right now, everything on the outside, the walls, those are going to be where your freshest foods are, because that section is refrigerated. And the foods that are along that area, the perimeter, those foods are going to be fresh, are the ones that spoil, are the ones that go bad, so they need to keep it in that area. And that's where you should stick to. The aisles of the grocery store are full of the processed foods. There are some exceptions, like I said before, oatmeal in a bag, the fresh spinach in a bag, the frozen vegetables that have no added sauces or sodium or things like that. Those are all fine, but the majority of your shopping should be in the perimeter, and then you're going to be on your way to eating clean. So stick to the perimeter, and then that's it. And then if you do get a packaged food, ask yourself, where did this food or its ingredients come from? How much really has it been processed or handled? Like, how many ingredients are there? Again, the ingredient label should be short. You should be able to recognize all the ingredients. If you cannot pronounce it, that's an easy indication to you of knowing you shouldn't be eating that. And that's pretty much it. Oh yeah, and then just an easy way to avoid things, just on the ingredient list. Again, if you see any artificial coloring or flavoring or something like that, leave it back, put it back on the shelf, and look for something that's a little bit more natural, a little bit more clean. All right, guys. So my challenge for you, if you choose to accept it, is to throw away one or more. Go into your pantry, find something that's processed and junky of all the stuff that I mentioned, and throw away one or more processed junky food. Take a picture of it, post it in the group, and you'll get bonus points if you post it on your personal page and tag me in it. And does anyone have any questions? Jolene, you said, haha, why did I never think of that? You mean shopping in the perimeter? Most people actually all supermarkets are, they're set up that way. Doesn't matter where you live. So just stick to that section and you should be more or less okay. Just always check the ingredients list. Yeah. All right, guys. So if there are no more questions, I am going to close it up. But if you have any questions, feel free to post in the group or post under this thread, and I'll get this video posted in the group. And then if you can always refer back to the video recording if you have any further questions or just wanted to review it again. All right, guys. I had fun, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.